Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Whitby Abbey.
As we're waiting for our host to join us, we'd like to play a little tune on the pianoforte.
As you must.
Play.
Of how things are going to go tonight. We have a brilliant time.
I'll leave it anyway. Oh, sorry, out loud.
Let me see you. Is it you that has invited us here today?
No, you mad old bat.
Is that any way to speak to a lady? Who are you?
Madame, I am Count Vladimir Dracula of Castle Dracul, Transylvania. I was the owner of Whitby Abbey until some rather unfortunate financial circumstances forced me to sell it.
To whom does it belong now, then? You'd know who it be, after all. It must have cost him a pretty penny.
Unfortunately not. The mysterious purchaser operated for an agent, and all the documents were simply signed with an M.
Why on earth would the British Secret Service want a crumbling ruin?
I don't know. Has the British Secret Service ever attempted to recruit you?
I did not come here to be insulted. I am Miss Havisham of Satan's house, and I demand respect, even from one such as you.
One such as me? What on earth do you mean?
You're a man, and your kind is all alike.
Miss Havisham, you cannot cling on to your past like this. Marriage for marriage's sake should not be seen as the defining factor of a woman's existence. Moreover, that veil is infected with mildew. Why can you not just take it off?
Because it isn't universally acknowledged that a single man in the possession of a small fortune must be in want of a wife. They are utter cads who fleece along a young girl of their small fortune, and look where that leaves you.
Yes, I can understand, but not all men are alike. I, for one, have no intentions, madam, of attempting to seize your assets.
Well, that's all very well now, isn't it? Is that what you've been saying if she was a few decades younger?
Ah, my sweet Dracul, I was hoping you would speak. I would enjoy getting better acquainted with you.
Get lost. I'm not interested. And as my other half, Bill Sykes, is several inches bigger. All right. Taller than you. I'd appreciate it if you dropped the suave act. It's not going to get you anywhere other than in trouble.
But antagonizing husbands, fiancés, and vampire hunters is the only thing that gets my blood rushing from my cold dead veins. As opposed to my mouth or my jugular vein.
What about you, beautiful? Do you have a name to go with your pious attitude?
I've been really trying, baby, trying to hold back this feeling for so long. And if you feel like I feel, baby, then come on. Oh, come on. Woo. Let's get it on.
Oh, shit!
I am Elizabeth Bennet of Pemberley House.
Excuse me, my dear, but I thought you was married. You see, I happens to have a particular fascination with the affairs of the independently wealthy, and I couldn't help but remember that you're married to Mr. Darcy.
I am, but he understands it for both professional and narrative purposes, as well as my appeal to single, middle-aged women. that it is far more suitable for me to continue to be referred to by my maiden name. May I inquire as to your name?
Oh, I'm Nancy. I live in London with my partner, Bill Sykes.
And I'm his partner. In business, of course. My name's Fagin. And it's a pleasure to make your intimate acquaintance.
And what sort of name is Fagin?
Mine, my dear. And I think we're better sticking with just that. The other names I might go by aren't suited to the sensibilities of the modern audience.
I suspect this dinner to turn out to be more painful than the occasion. I mistakenly took cloves of garlic for breath mints and ended up having to take coughing drops for a month afterwards. Give me coughing drops, yes. Please tell me that the metal contact points attached to your head have also given you an electrifying personality.
I am Victor Frankenstein. It is very lovely to meet you all! I have not met actual people before. Do you know who our host is?
Well, that does it. Do you think somebody would save me a steak?
Why would you want steak? Unless, of course, it is a reference to the traditional method of killing vampires rather than a menu request. I am afraid I am not good to spot irony. Or is it sarcasm? You might find this hard to believe, considering how tall I am. But non-literal speech just goes straight over my head.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Whitby Abbey. I am Ivana Hug and Kiss. May I offer anyone a drink?
Ivana?
Well, I'll have an orange juice and tonic. And by orange, I mean glass, and tonic, I mean extra large gin with a slice of cucumber and a smidgens of soda.
Certainly, darling. It is so good to see you.
Ivana! I don't think I've seen you since you moved away from London.
Ah, yes. When I was in that dire production of La Traviata. Oh, it was so bad. It was over long before the fat lady had the chance to sing.
So you've only recently stopped performing for a living then? I remember you 30 years ago as a contortionist for the Moscow City State Circus.
Unfortunately, though I may have been the most beautiful girl in the ring 13 years ago, I was not a very good contortionist. I found it difficult to make ends meet.
Are you financially stable now, Miss Huggingkiss? I'm well aware that your departure from your post working for Lady Catherine de Bourgh was not under favourable circumstances.
Yes, well, it was that vile old hag's fault. She told me my cleaning wasn't up to standard, gave me £20 note to thank me for my services. She only got really cross when, on the way out, I gave £10 to her dog for his help with the dishes.
Of course. You were one of my gang, my dear. I remember the first time you got arrested. You decided to do your Christmas shopping early. So early, in fact, the shop hasn't opened yet.
Yes, I'm sure you have much fonder memories of that time than I do. I think I saved the best for last. Hello, Victor. I hope you have been well. You know, since we danced the night away in each other's arms, I haven't been anywhere near the ball.
You there? Could you save your private life for another time and get me my orange juice and tonic? And bring me some nibbles while you're at it.
Of course, Miss having some.
Lovely as it was to see Ivana again, this is most alarming. It should not be possible for 5 of the 6 guests to know the waiting staff.
It appears that our mysterious host thinks himself rather too clever. I propose that whoever our host turns out to be, we keep a close eye on him.
Ah, excellent. Now that you've all finally introduced yourselves, I suppose I'd better tell you why you're all here. You are all being blackmailed.
Good heavens, our host, a madman!
Your host is Professor James Moriarty.
Host? And is it him who's blackmailing us?
Indeed, Mr. Fagin. And if you could please return the candlesticks that you stole from the hall, that would be greatly appreciated.
Moriarty, I would have thought you'd be too afraid of the great Sherlock Holmes to be blackmailing so many people at once. After all, there is no police like Holmes.
You would think that, wouldn't you? Sir James Moriarty has blackmailed every single one of you out of a large amount of money because you all deem your reputations, or indeed your lives, to be of more value than your bank account.
There must be some terrible mistake. I am not being blackmailed by some common criminal.
Miss Havisham, Moriarty is blackmailing you because you sent your daughter's true love away so that she could continue to enact your revenge against all men. If you don't pay, he is trying to tell Estella, who, you fear, will see your actions as betrayal and leave you to go and find Pip.
How could I not pay that vile man? I cannot face the prospect of life without my darling Estella. And my vengeance, my sweet, sweet vengeance, must continue against all cats of this cruel world.
Of course, Miss Harrison is not the only person paying up to ensure the nearest and dearest do not protect the dirty work. However, some have allowed Moriarty to drive them to the verge of bankruptcy, haven't they, Count Dracula?
Bastards! How can you tell?
You're wearing a second-hand cape. You haven't had your fangs bleached recently, and you openly admitted at the beginning of the show, until recently, you were the owner of Whitby Abbey.
I invested all of my money into a blood bank and lost everything when there was a particularly draining recession in Transylvania.
That's not precisely the reason you're being blackmailed, is it? You sold your fiancé's family home in order to pay off your debts. And Moriarty has been threatening to tell her that you sold it behind her back.
Yes, and if you could ensure that Lucy never finds out, then I'll be eternally thankful.
Elizabeth Bennet, you have money laundered in order to fund your sister and brother-in-law's decadent lifestyle.
And here I was thinking that you were whiter than snow. But with you, it's all about the greens, isn't it? Crisp, green banknotes, straight out the wash.
I would thank you to mind your tongue, Mr. Fagin. Any sordid activities that I may have descended to are purely for the benefit of my poor sister Lydia and her husband, Mr. Wickham. Lydia has always been absent-minded, and Mr. Wickham's idea of planning ahead is buying 4 bottles of wine rather than 2.
A very touching story, my dear. Is there any chance I can grab a sick bucket?
I think not, Mr. Fagin. We'd find a bucket on eBay by tomorrow evening. You run a criminal gang that has terrorised the East End of London for over 40 years. One that has exploited not only the trust of your victims, but also your employees. 90% of your workforce is under 9. They are not paid, but instead supplied with alcohol in return for their services.
I don't think it's all that bad. I always put the gin in Capri Sun pouches to ensure they can't binge drink. Once they can't get the straw in, they've had enough.
How very paternal of you. Now, moving on. Victor Frankenstein.
Yes, God!
It's not your name, but that of your creator. Until recently, you were kept imprisoned in the Alps by mad scientist Victor Frankenstein. He vanished mysteriously a year ago, and you have been using his identity ever since. You have been paying Moriarty what little you have in order to ensure that you won't be locked away again.
It was so dark. And my creator always had metal bracelets on my wrists and ankles. He let me go to the bathroom once, so I briefly escaped. I rescued a little girl from drowning. Her blind grandfather was so kind to me. It was only later that the village became scared and then angry with me. They started attacking me with pitchforks and worse. Fire! It was only later that my creator had realized I escaped and locked me back up again. I don't want to go back in the dark again. I won't go back for dark. I won't go back for dark. I'm in the dark again. Sorry, I get very anxious in social situations.
I'll say.
Sorry.
Ivana, could you possibly bring in dinner? Finally, Nancy, we come to you.
It's all right, inanimate voice in the sky that none of us can see but all of us can hear. I don't see no shame in what I'm being blackmailed for myself. Moriarty is blackmailing me on account of my soliciting.
Soliciting? Why would he be blackmailing you for something as trivial as that?
That's what I thought. I mean, being a solicitor is a challenging profession, but well worth the long hours. And even though the clients can be absolute
Watch your mouth!
dimwits, what do you think I was going to say? Anyway, I don't see nothing wrong with the legal profession myself, but Moriarty thought differently and threatened to tell my bill, or the old bill.
Yes, but you still kept paying, didn't you? Perhaps we can investigate this further later on.
Let's see what we have here. It's delicious.
Oh.
Wow.
Actually, it reminds me of something I had at my wedding.
It's very,
Ain't this the most delicious you ever had?
it's very, gelatinous.
Quite smelly as well.
This is the best food I've ever had. No.
Bastard! Codfish gonads and gherkin goulash? Why are you serving us this disgusting sweet?
It's our cook's speciality, sir.
It is. I haven't been served cuisine this foul since I got rid of Lucy's home and finally got rid of her cook.
Lucy would never hear me say a bad word about the old trout. And her cooking wasn't the only thing that was fishy.
Dracula, she's behind you.
What's that? Not all of us have satellite dishes for ears.
She is behind you.
Hello, Wanda. I did not realize I'd be seeing so many old faces this evening.
Good evening, sir. I hope that Lucy is well. Please inform her that Wanda Betterjob asked after her. I do suggest that you eat up, sir. I made it especially for you, with improved flavouring. I hadn't realised how much better everything tastes, with extra garlic.
Wanda, what have I said about poisoning guests?
Only the old rules, sir.
Quite right. Now, Wanda, go back to the kitchen. I'm sure that we'll need your talents later on.
Of course, sir.
I hope that Ivana has treated you in a manner that you deserve.
Actually, no. Ivana and whoever it is have treated me most contemptuously, and as for my fellow guests.
A manner that you deserve, Miss Havisham. Now, as I doubt that any of you are going to be able to consume any of Wanda's cooking, I suggest that we retire to the study to discuss our business.
Now, I may have failed to mention the fact that whilst this is Moriarty's home, I was the one who sent out the invitations.
So, was the butler what done it?
But, Mr. Moriarty, if you did not invite us to your home, what business would you have with us?
That's a very interesting question, Miss Bennett.
I invited them here, sir, so to stop you from blackmailing them and regain any evidence you have against them. By the time the police arrive, you'll be in the custody of the Fictional Investigation Bureau, sir.
Is that so, moron? How very moralistic of you. Unfortunately for you all, I'm nowhere near as conscientious. Not when it has proved me to be so successful. In the past 2 years, I bought a private plane, 2 yachts, 3 country estates, 4 Rolex, 5 racehorses, and 6 sports cars, thanks to your willing contributions. Oh, I'm so filthy rich, I could bath in pound coins.
Okay, I get it. So you will continue to blackmail us until we cannot afford to pay you anymore?
Yes, I would apologise, but I have long believed that if money cannot buy happiness, it does at least bring you a more pleasant form of misery. I shall be fair to you though, and before the day ends, I will give you all the single opportunity to terminate your torment. Could you please bring them in, Ivana?
Yes, sir.
I cannot believe you consider enacting such a vile scheme against a woman of my status.
Your status? You don't think that you lot are honestly the best that I can do? I've got so much from Boris, I should have changed my name to Dominic. Don't you dare assume, Miss Havisham, that you are any less than the tip of the iceberg. Let us see what's in the box. Frankenstein. Fagin. Miss Havisham. Nancy. You're welcome.
Granulated garlic? What sort of sick joke is this?
You're not giving us much chance to view our situations, are you?
Why would you give us such evil objects?
What's that for? I don't understand why you've given me this dagger. What is this game?
This is getting preposterous, Mr. Moriarty. Neither Miss Havisham's dagger nor this revolver bears any relevance to our characters or source material whatsoever.
Thank you for your insight, Miss Bennet. I'm afraid that my sense of humour has always been criminal.
I think so. Perhaps it's time to move the plot along.
Very well. Our little game is this. I will turn off the lights, giving you all the single opportunity to kill me with the weapons I've so generously provided you all, thus ridding yourselves of my vile schemes. However, I am far aware that you're all far too cowardly to actually do it. So when the lights are turned back on again, you will all quietly leave and continue playing me. And we shall never see each other again. 1, 2, 3.
Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Is everyone all right?
Did you all have to hit me so hard? Especially you.
Sorry! I thought if I punched you hard enough, you'd forget about it.
There has been a murder! Call the police! Call the fire brigade! Call the BBC! Call the Ghostbusters! I don't care anymore! Let me out of here! With the children first! I'm too young to die! Please just let me live! How dare you!
he's actually dead?
Of course he's dead.
Yeah, that man's clearly a stiff.
What's with all this talk of stiff neck? Is he dead?
Uh-huh.
Oh, what a terrible shock. Do you suppose, Victor, that I may need the kiss of life?
Not now, Ivana. We have more pressing matters to attend to. Will somebody check he's actually dead? Well, this should be fairly simple. Who had the stake?
Now I think about it, Count Dracula was going to stick with me. I know precisely where he needs to go in order to kill someone. Won't you?
Shove the stake up your ass.
Well, it certainly wasn't me. My dress is far too cumbersome to be stabbing people in the dark. It was clearly Miss Bennet. You bitch! You cat!
Common temptress.
You dirty hat!
You mouldy derriere liquor.
You mouldy derriere bitter!
You mouldy derriere licking, itching, binton.
You mouldy derriere, itching, sniffing, licking, beaten bitch!
Mouldy derriere licking, itching, sniffing, whipple wobbling, foul hat.
So many mean words!
Bravo! Bravo!
Social climber. The itinerant family reducing Pemberley to a den of vice behind her husband's back. She clearly has the most reason for wanting Moriarty dead.
Mr. Ivana should put into a safe.
I wouldn't do that if I was you. Safe robbery is most risk-free form of theft.
I am also displeased with this. How do we not know she won't use them against us?
She was the only one who wasn't in the room when Moriarty was dead.
Whereas if we don't start finding this front door key and the murderer, we'll all be staying at Her Majesty's pleasure. And we really do not want that to happen, because Queen Elizabeth II's cooking is even worse than Wanda's.
May I suggest that we search in pairs? At least then if someone else turns up dead, we automatically know who the murderer is.
But then, any one of us could be paired with the murderer. How would we choose these pairs?
Well, we could think about this logically, or we could pick up straws and leave it to chance like other idiots.
Yeah.
It would be your logic, wouldn't it? And how do we know you're not the murderer? I say we pick straws.
Yeah, I think so. I like
Definitely.
that.
Why did I bother asking? Ivana, straws?
Turn back. Lady, have you got Cave of Wonders down there?
It's what you call a chest of straws.
Yes, but of course, only those who are worthy get to put their hands in promised land.
What the dickings?
There'll be no dickings on my watch. Come on! What did she call you again? You bitch, you hag, you whipple.
Has anyone told you, Dracula, that you're just so charming?
You'll take care of him, won't you?
Oh, I'll take care of him, all right.
Come on, lover boy.
Alright.
I shall go to the library, hoping to find front door key next to the telephone. Ivana, did you jump?
So, it's you and me, Miss B. Perhaps we can more intimate acquaintances on our little investigation. I'd very much like to get better acquainted with your husband's income.
If money is all you wish to talk about, Mr. Fagan, then so be it. I simply don't understand your preoccupation with it.
The pain! The horror! The meat I put on the grill for my dinner will burn, and nobody will save my bacon! The pen! Gran! I can see the light! I'm going! Oh!
Drac, I think I've done something very bad.
What have you done now, you fucking shit?
Well, I don't understand why that repulsive man decided to have his bedroom in the crypt.
Perhaps he was feeling dead tired. Nobody? Alright, what have we here then?
Well, it was the maid. Somebody sees her at once.
Shut up! It wasn't her!
How do you know it wasn't it?
Because...
Oh, it's alright. She was alright when you last saw her, wasn't she?
What are we going to do with this one?
Oh, for God's sake!
Well, then leave this one to me.
No, you see her? Go on, what are you doing?
Then we have a bit of fun.
Come on, let's clean it up.
Now, there is a more curious concern. How many bodies were in the room when we left?
One.
Was it one? And how many bodies in the room now then?
I know this. 2.
Very good, Fagin. But who's the one extra body in the room when we left?
Want a better job? Bastards, did somebody move the body?
Well, if you insist we're running around the abbey like a bunch of headless chickens, may I suggest the idea
Well,
that...
a search would be the obvious answer.
Well, off you go then. Well, it's a bit awkward, isn't it?
Gather round, I have idea. Quick!
Yes, let's do it!
Dracula, help me bring her in.
Sorry. Hold that.
I'll certainly take the time with that.
Calm down.
Whoa! Who thought silicon could be so heavy?
Well, she's been strangled.
And the rope was next to her.
I don't get it. Who killed Moriarty?
I can tell you who killed Moriarty, and the others. But I insist that you all take a seat. That includes you, Mr. Frankenstein. Now, we must go back to the events at the beginning of the evening in order to fully understand where we are now. You all sat at the dining table. You introduced yourselves, and I informed you that you were all being blackmailed, and we established several reasons why. However, what we failed to mention was the fact that only one of you revealed the full truth about your guilty secrets.
How long is this going to take, Mr. Mora? I left a particularly fine E positive out to breathe, and if I don't get home soon to put it in the fridge, then I'll feel such a clot.
Well, that entirely depends, Count Dracula, on how you are all willing to cooperate. We shall move on to this evening's mysterious event, to when Moriarty refused to stop blackmailing you, gave you all weapons, and turned off the lights. In that darkness, there was a gunshot fired, one that missed its target, and was deliberately chosen as it was the only weapon that could allow the culprit to attempt to kill Moriarty without, how did you put it earlier? Danger in your own hands, Mr. Fagin.
I had you nowadays. You've got to consider yourself.
I think you have, Mr. Fagin. Over 50% of your income of your gang goes into your retirement fund. You have a bank account in the Maldives, under the name Rich Art than you. Moriarty was threatening to tell Bill Sykes unless you diverted a percentage of your investments to him. That is why you tried to shoot him.
In light of his character, the fact I didn't get close to killing him, and the number of people who had it in for him, can't I walk free from all of this? Unless crimes against bushes is a special branch matter. Unattempted no murder. Have I?
It's debatable. I'm sure we'll have to see what the police say when they arrive. The two other things that happened in the darkness was that Dracula was slapped by Frankenstein and Moriarty was staked. The two events are, of course, connected.
Dracula stood no chance in kissing Nancy, because she was, at the time, on the floor with Moriarty with a piece of hard wood.
Oh, it's a fair cock, Governor. Yeah, I've staked him. But why, pray tell, would you risk a murder charge? You're a solicitor. You know the letter of the law extremely well.
Well, because Moriarty was threatening to tell Marville that I was the one who shocked the gang to the coppers when I rescued Oliver from Fagin's vile clutches. I had to get some of your gang sent down to stop the fifth asking awkward questions about Marville.
Aside from sounding like a UKIP MEP at a restaurant, the fact still remains you rammed a stake into a man's chest, hoping to kill him.
Yeah, but didn't kill him. I didn't actually kill him, did I?
No, you didn't, but only because he was wearing body armour. Something that, funnily enough, does not protect one from being struck on the back of the head with a piece of lead piping. Does it, Miss Havisham?
I don't know what you're insinuating, but my only mission in life is to train my daughter to be the perfect gold digger.
Huh? I don't get it. Why would you send your daughter down to dig for precious metals?
I am training her to break men's hearts and take their fortunes, just like mine was taken. It's cruel vengeance, you imbecile!
I really wouldn't accuse other people of stupidity, Miss Havisham. Not when I have full details of your correspondence with Mr. Moriarty. Letters, Estella's birth certificate. You know who her real parents are, and you refuse to tell her because you fear that she will leave you in order to find them. So, when you saw Ivana on the floor with the weapons next to her, you picked up the lead piping and killed Moriarty. Am I correct?
I can't have her leaving me! My darling Estella! I'm the only parent she needs! I can't allow that filthy convict to take her away from me!
Miss Havisham will be having some.
I have an observation. We deliberately set out in pairs in order to prevent further murders taking place. How then could Miss Havisham escape Dracula in order to kill Moriarty?
A very interesting question, Miss Bennet. The answer's simple. Miss Havisham got away from Count Dracula because he picked up the dagger and already went towards the kitchen to kill Wanda.
If I were to admit that I relieved the world of this woman, how would you prove that it was me?
Earlier, Count Dracula, you told us that Moriarty's hold on you was that your fiancée did not know that you were bankrupt and she was homeless.
Yes, I said that. And what is your point?
What you failed to mention is that selling the house wasn't the only thing you were doing behind Lucy's back. You had also been visiting Mina and Jonathan Harker for illicit blood donations.
Jonathan Harker is a very attractive man. Ah. And have you ever seen Mina? I am just a sucker for them.
Yeah, I'm sure you are, but that does not alter the fact that it was not your financial indiscretions, but your personal ones that gave Moriarty such excellent blackmail. One's a better job of been cooking up a plot against you ever since you effectively sacked her, working with the Harkners, and noticed that it was not only your bank account you've been draining, but also Mina Harker's blood. Did you know that?
No, I do not deny that I killed Wanda, but not because of the blackmail. I just couldn't stand the old bitch. Her cooking! Her true speciality was indigestion. Oh, that night I invited the werewolf. Oh, all the howling! And there wasn't even a full moon.
If Wanda was in on the blackmail, was Ivana? Is that why?
No, that's a very interesting question. That was an accident. The killer did not mean to kill her, did he, Frankenstein?
And I didn't mean to. We were kissing. I loved her. We met at the Monsters Ball last year. She was the most beautiful girl in the room. Seeing her sent sparks through all my electronics. I couldn't resist her.
Resisto? No?
Oh, my rod, it was for her to be my girlfriend. You hear me? My girlfriend!
Ready? 1, 2, 3, tits arse down the hatch. Oh, I'm bad at that. Oh, God.
Perhaps all Ivana needs to wake up is the kiss of life.
She's not dead. Ivana! Why are my milk bracelets again? And why are they furry?
Well, I'll explain that to you later, big boy.
Oh, look at him. Like moose in heaven.
Any chance you can release the rest of us?
No, I can't have any of you escaping before the police get here. You'd rather ruin my bragging rights of solving 2 murders and shutting down an entire evil empire, well, in less than half an hour, unless all participants are here when the police arrive.
I still want to know how a mere butler manages all of this. The invitations, the manipulation, the deductions.
Goodness gracious, great balls of fire! It's Sherlock Holmes! It's bloody Sherlock Holmes, eh?
Oh my God, she's right.
But what about the front door key?
Oh, it was never locked. I did leave out that small detail. You could have left at any time.
And anyone could enter.
You lying, decrepit, impotent fossil! I can't believe you could do this to me. After all the changes I've been through and all the sacrifices I've made, I can't believe what a leech you are. You suck, Dracula.
And you swallowed!
Evening all?
Please tell me that no one else is going to slap me. Ah! You bitch, you bastard, you... I give up!
Right then, Mr. Holmes, which one of these horrendously horrible arrogance do you have me handcuff and have my way with?
Count Dracula, Miss Havisham. Joss, Count Dracula, Miss Havisham?
Yes, Nancy. You see, as well as being the world's only consulting detective, I also do some freelance work for the Fictional Investigation Bureau. Dee, the head of FIB, will, I'm sure, want to take you into protective custody, regardless of your attempt to kill Moriarty. You see, Dee thinks that you were exceptionally brave in saving Oliver Twist and exposing a major criminal organization, especially when it could have cost you your life. I'm sure she thinks that you would be much safer staying with her. Am I right, ma'am?
Indeed you are. But what is that?
But what about the money laundering?
Well, that was all bait to encourage Moriarty to make a mistake. And it was all done with my husband's knowledge, if not necessarily his permission.
So, you're Dee, head of FRB, and you've been undercover this whole time?
Yes, Nancy. I'm glad that it has worked out so well. We were a little worried that this whole revelation would be a little ostentatious.
So I can go with you, and I'll be safe and I won't go to jail.
You may have to face judgment for a few of your actions at some point, but I can assure you, you'll be safe.
Well, come on, listen.
I'm not going to be arrested too, am I?
I don't think, my darling, that they can arrest you. I am not dead. The strangulation was accidental. And I think you would get off on the technicality that none of your parts have been alive at the same time.
That doesn't make me less human though, does it?
Now, you're more human, well, more humans than anyone else.
Now, Victor, I believe you were going to ask me a question.
Oh yeah. Upon a hug and kiss, I love you with all my parts, regardless who they may come from. Will you be my girlfriend?
Oh, darling, I thought you would never ask.
I have to thank you, Mr. Holmes, for allowing me my liberty. I'm already thinking about what this all means to me, particularly as my criminal empire seems to have collapsed. Perhaps I'm going to the theatre. After all, cost of tickets is daylight robbery, and when in doubt, you can always steal the show. I have to thank you too, Dr. Watson, for your punctuality to the crime scene. Who knows what might have happened if you hadn't shown up. Come on in, you two, back to Scotland Yard to wait your trial. I'm a sucker for a juicy murder, me.
Of all the other people that could have been the other murderer, why did it have to be you?
You think this is any better for me? If somebody could get me the dagger.
I take your dagger and raise you up a pistol.
And I'll take your pistol and raise you a candlestick.
And where does the candlestick go again? Quiet, you horrible pair! Do it! Go with him!
Right then, Mr. Holmes. That's them back in the car. I'll take them back to Scotland Yard when you're ready. Can you help me out here? What's the significance of this bush? I mean, it's nice, but it's just growing in the middle of the room, like. What does it add to the plot?
Ah, my dear Watson. That is a lemon tree.